And welcome back to Janky AF and Year of the Aerostar, episode number 56. We have a couple of fantastic Aerostars coming up, and to peel back the curtain and break the fourth wall here, I am going to record these sort of in sequence back to back because A, it's more efficient, and B, like when there's a couple of really hot Aerostars on the market, I try to record those episodes as soon as I can, just in case they go away. Because once they're gone, and I can't include them in the Aerostar canon of episodes here, and that's really a shame when I get one that I think is really unique or special or rare. So we're going to hopefully get all these preserved and put into the Year of the Aerostar compendium for all of time before they disappear. So this one has a nice little backstory, but we'll introduce the van first for you and then tell you about it. Here we have a 1994 Ford Aerostar extended window minivan, listed for $6,000 in Vermillion, Ohio. Boy, so many Ohio Aerostars, I tell you. Part of that's just my search radius, but I feel like, within my search radius, I get many more Aerostars in Ohio than I do in New York or, New Hampshire or, Virginia. I got quite a few in Virginia too. And now maybe that's just a population thing. I don't know. Anyhow, look at this, it's just absolutely stunning Ford Aerostar. And we'll get into this one a little bit more. However, I have to tell you some backstory in that good buddy Crease Mert on Instagram always sends me great stuff. Has an Aerostar, it just hit 187,000 miles. I got some mud flaps off him. Real great little Aerostar enthusiast in his own right. He sent me the other day this post from Ford Aerostar Vans Only, of which I am a member, and as you can see, it's not only Ford Aerostar fans, but leave it to a Facebook group to whatever. I digress. So he sent me this, and it's a 1987 Ford Aerostar XL 3.0 V6 automatic transmission, sort of like a project car that they were gonna refurbish and whatever. They ran out of time, but a ton of work done to this. They have all these service receipts, and look at this, just like beautiful 87 Aerostar, brown over gold. Now, my 1986 Aerostar, to back up even further, is all brown, but it has one front quarter panel, actually identical to this. It's even got the XL badging on it, although the badging's off currently. It's brown over gold with the red pinstripe. So it's funny because on mine, it has like all brown with like a little like sort of yellowish, goldish pinstripe. So the pinstripe actually changes color. The rest of the brown looks perfect. It's the same brown. It's just all of a sudden you have this gold in there and the panel's a little bit dented. Eventually I want to get it sort of to match the rest of the vehicle. So I'm familiar with this color scheme because I have one quarter panel of this color scheme. But I think the brown over gold, the blue over silver, very nice. That's like sort of the other iconic two-tone Aerostar color. But for me, the brown over gold, the more warm colors, is right where I'm at. This has the same interior, and you're kind of getting a 2-for-1 here today, as mine does. And obviously, it needs a little bit of attention. It looks like it's rolled over, just over 100,000 miles. But I have these same bench seats in mine, and all the seats are, except for the front seats. I have these like brown vinyl. I don't know if they. I don't know how. I've never seen seats like it in my 86, where it's like it's the standard seat. It's not the bucket seat from the cargo version, but it's completely like covered in just like monochromatic brown vinyl. Very weird, but it's like the stock seat. So I don't know how that happened, but the interior is exact same as mine, except in much better condition. So I was sent that, and I do want to do an entire post on this, but it's hard just from a formatting standpoint to. I guess I could. It's no different. It's just I like the post, in the sort of standard marketplace guise. So maybe I can go to, and I'm surprised this wasn't in my radius, but maybe I'll go to a radius in which Williamsburg, Ohio is included, and I'll try to find it as a regular listing, and I'll try to do that. But there you go. There's like sort of a little, backstory there. So he sends me this, and then, the next day I find this, which is basically the updated version of that vehicle. So to Cree Smirt, I see your Aerostar, and I raise you this 1994 Aerostar. The cool thing about this Aerostar is it's in even better condition than the last one, is that this color scheme, this brown over gold, and it looks like the brown has actually changed like slightly. It looks like this might be has a little bit more. Now maybe it's just faded, but I think this is like, it might be this mocha frost where it has like a little bit more sparkle in it, and it almost just looks like a tiny bit lighter, tiny bit more orange in it than this original brown. So I wonder if it has changed, but it's the modern version of that. So obviously you're getting it's good because it's a good comparative analysis. The older one, you have the metal grille with the 5-spoke, the recessed headlights, all these changes that they made to the Aerostar. And the newer one, you have the headlights that are flush now. You have your 3-spoke grille with the Ford logo on top. And just like, subtle minor things that they did on these Aerostars. Looks like your mirrors, even though they're not the towing mirrors, these flat little plastic mirrors have, gotten a tiny bit bigger perhaps. I actually don't know about that. It's a good question. Looks like they might be even mounted. Yeah, they're mounted up here now on the actual window pillar instead of on the door. So that's actually something that I've never seen on the Wikipedia page, and we're doing our sort of analysis here to see the differences in these vehicles. Obviously, these are just your unpainted, or no, maybe they are painted, but you don't have your chrome accents here, and here you have your little chrome accents. I think those kind of came and went with different. I don't know if you can demarcate in time a specific line when that changed, but I just thought that was so funny that here we have like a very, and of course now it's not a red pinstripe, it's more of like a light tan beige pinstripe, and I want to even say the pinstripe line. Yeah, the two-tone is even a little bit different, whereas in here, and I kind of prefer this, I gotta say, like comes just below your mirror and all the way down the hood. Here, we have it go up, and actually the hood is a different color. So that's kind of interesting. And, both cool, both unique. I do like kind of the hood wraparound as a separate color. It kind of breaks everything up, and it adds that second color, gets a little bit more shine. But I think this is like sort of a little bit more classic too. So just so funny to see these like twin Aerostars, and yet you get all the differences in the not generations, but all the little minor facelifts that were done along the way. And of course, as we move on through this, we'll see the interior differences too. As we see, this has the more modern, I believe by 94, it should have the more modern, interior. And what's interesting about this is I don't think you see a lot of tan interiors on the sort of later Aerostars. And pardon me for jumping around here. I would love to get a shot of the, that's interesting, looks totally different in that light. Of the, we don't have a great shot of the dashboard, but again, the second generation or facelifted interior, you don't often get to see a tan one. Usually they're almost always gray, so that's very interesting. On facelifted, again, by 1994, this color scheme was so rare, is what I mean to say. It looks like we have the Aerostar floor mats, and this brown over tan just looks so cool. Now I even think these seats are a little bit different, in terms of the color schemes on here. Maybe not, but everything just looks slightly different. Bear with me here while I sort of get my bearings. I think this line comes up right here. Let me see if that looks the same here. I guess they are the same. For some reason, to me, they just look slightly different. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just the the crispness of it looks a little bit different, or maybe the shades are just slightly different. But again, we have these like sort of twinning Aerostars here, so I thought that was just so funny that right after one of these popped up, the other one popped up. So we're doing this 94 Aerostar today. That was just the backstory, and obviously this will end up probably being a long one. But let's give this one its proper send up. here on the year of the Aerostar. So about this vehicle, 83,000, so even less miles than the other one, 83,262 miles, automatic transmission, exterior tan, interior tan, good enough. 1419 for a combined 16 miles per gallon. Not great, honestly. And there's no description. Oh, I'm sorry, there is. No rust, one owner, low mileage, must-see Aerostar. So there is a description, very short and sweet and to the point. And I think the last 3 words there are the most important, must-see Aerostar. I really, this one looks like a total cream puff. And again, when we did that sort of 86 Aerostar, that was this mint condition cream puff around the same mileage. I think I had like 86,000 on it. That's the crazy thing. You don't even, 8, 9, 10 is sort of like the cap on Aerostars for like the nicest one. And you don't even need to spend that if you find the right one. I mean, like, you're not going to do better than this Aerostar in terms of like an absolute cream puff. Maybe, yeah, okay, you can find something that has like a little bit lower mileage. There still are like absolute like 30, 40,000 mile Aerostars out there. But I think for the color package, the overall, neat and tidiness of this vehicle, for $6,000. I mean, think about it. Think about how clean of a car this is for $6,000. This is an absolute classic. Look at, everything is perfect in here. Like your headliner, your these things crumple and kink and melt and fall apart, and like then water starts getting in. Like, the plastic on these cars was just a sign of the times. It wasn't made as well. It didn't hold up as well. To find this, I mean, this must have been garage kept. Look at these seats, just like immaculate. Just like, maybe there's I don't know if that's something on the picture, a tiny little stain or something like there, but. And what's so cool about this, so shout out to Specialty Motor Cars in Massachusetts. He does such a great job. He sells a lot of these like kind of land yachts, like Cadillac Bromes and Lincoln Town Cars, things of that nature. And he does such a Anthony, he does, and Papa Bear, they do such a wonderful job of preserving these older cars. I love that they're sort of singled in on one kind of particular thing. And he takes such pride in refurbishing these cars and making them as nice as he possibly can. And he always says you can tell when a car has been garage kept because like there's certain things, the sun hasn't beaten on them, the seals are in better condition, it hasn't been like left out in the rain, and you can just kind of tell when a car has been really, really well cared for. And I have to believe this. If this wasn't garage kept, I'm astounded because it just has that extra little pop and shine everywhere on it, where everything just looks so well taken care of, and you don't see any bubbling or rust anywhere. So the only thing I'll say is that, and a Lincoln Town Car or a Cadillac Brome, and this is no disrespect to any buddy that likes those cars. I would just say those cars being like sort of more luxury cars, more like a little more likely to be owned by like either elderly or affluent people. There's just a higher percentage that car will be garaged and will be taken care of and will be treated as like a special car. Whereas an Aerostar, to most people is just like a ho-hum minivan, and it's just like a utilitarian vehicle, which it is. However, to see an Aerostar that's been really, really preserved and loved and taken care of is so cool, because it's just a rare, rare thing. So that's what I love so much about this Aerostar, and I absolutely am in love with the color scheme. The brown over gold is perfect to me. I think it's like, just exudes, 80s and 90s. And the fact that this is 94 so late in the game, like I can't imagine, like I still look at tons of Aerostars, and anything from 94 is going to be like white or green or maroon or like blue or blue and silver. Like I never see this color combination in 1994. Now that being said, I probably already have done a couple. Like I know there was that extended one in West Virginia that was the brown over gold. So I'm being a little perhaps what's the word? Exaggerating in just how rare this color scheme is. But I think that seeing one that's this clean and in like the standard length, and actually even these hubcaps look to be like of an older generation. So I don't know. For me, it's so weird because it really does seem like I'm looking at an earlier Aerostar like this one, but that's just been like sort of brought. Look at all these service records, by the way, as I digress here. That's been brought sort of into a later era of the Aerostar, and it's just, I don't know, it was just so funny to see these two. And then on top of that, aside from the color scheme and everything else, just look at how amazingly immaculate and clean this is. Like this is just like one owner, so this thing was purchased in either 1993 or 1994, only driven 83,000 miles, and just like garage. You wonder like how, like what are the odds of an Aerostar living this life where it's like bought new, held on to for almost 30 years, only driven 83,000 miles in that time, which is very low, obviously, but then when you think about it, 83,000 miles is still 83,000 miles. So the fact that it was driven all that time and maintained this immaculately is just like stunning. I mean, there's not a crack or a chip in these bumpers. I mean, look at that. If you watch these episodes, some of these vans are just like beat to hell, like bumpers falling off, totally removed, like just dirt and dust and grime and all the interior ripped out and crap everywhere and disassembled. And these cars were just rode hard, put away wet, abused, and this one is just somehow lived this amazingly just well taken care of, pampered life, and I think that's so cool. I think it's such a rare Aerostar. This is worth $6,000 all day. Like you should run to the bank and get the money and buy this, and then just quite honestly probably sit on it, because you're really not going to find like a nicer, more glistening Aerostar than this, especially in this like wonderful color combination with these body color painted bumpers. The grill almost looks like it's brown too, but I don't think it is. I think that's just the lighting, but certainly in dark gray it looks just fine. It's one of those, and we've had a couple of these recently where you see them and you realize just how special these vans were when new and how cool they were when new, because when you see them, again, I love the Aerostar floor mats, when you see them in their like original form all these years later, you're like, dang, that's like a really cool looking vehicle. And you see how nice they were, for like a minivan. Like, look at how cool these seats are, these two-tone seats. They're not, they don't blow you away with leather, but a lot, I don't know. There's something about the simplicity of it, and yet they do just enough sort of tasteful accents to make it look really special. I just love the fabric. Like if you put this in like a Singer Porsche, like $1 million Singer Porsche, these two-tone seats with these exact materials and maybe a little bit of piping stitching, I think people would be like, oh, that's like really amazing. And here they are, just the bench seats in a minivan. But there's just something about it where they kind of nailed all their materials, and to me it looks like kind of premium. Now the plastics and all that stuff is a little bit more whatever, but I just love this tanned out interior too. Like I don't remember seeing facelifted interiors with all this plastic and tan. It's like almost like a tan dipped interior. Unbelievable. I really don't remember that many updated interiors with this tan, with the tan steering wheel and tan everything. The only thing that's black really is your little console here, which is great, black and tan. And maybe, it's very possible that I have seen a lot of tan interiors, but they just never jumped out at me because they weren't so pristine. So everything in here seems new and different and unique to me. I think just because of the quality of the vehicle itself sort of makes everything, look fresh and new and different. So just astounding. Just a fantastic, fantastic find. And boy, I really hope someone scoops this up, because what a gem of an Aerostar. Just everything it just exudes everything that's great about the Aerostar. So there you have it. Wow. Just, absolutely stunning, gorgeous, striking, dazzling 1994 Ford Aerostar extended window minivan. And of course it's not extended, but that's just the beauty of Facebook Marketplace and how they don't let you put in the model of the vehicle. Take a little shot at Marketplace on the way out of talking about her. But no negativity in this video. It's just all good vibes. There you go. Thank you so much for watching. We got a couple really cool, interesting, unique, different Aerostars coming up in the next few episodes, which I am going to shoot now. So, episode 56 of Year of the Aerostar. Thank you everybody so much. Thanks again, Crease Mert. Thanks. I just had a person send me a picture of their Aerostar in Mexico, and that maybe that's gonna be like sort of a little hint of the direction of Year of the Aerostar. I've always wanted to do a Mexican residency. There are so many wonderful Aerostars down in Mexico, and the good people of Mexico obviously care about their Aerostars and are Aerostar enthusiasts. So we say Janky do Thanky for that. But for now, we got a couple more already on the docket that we're going to do. Thanks to everybody who's commented. I try to keep up with the comments. And, aside from Year of the Aerostar here in Janky AF, we have some really cool other reviews. Every car is a great car coming, some performance stuff, a couple a museum video. I recently went to the Saratoga Automobile Museum. Actually, it was like a long time ago, but I just completed the video and I'm about to go back there. So please stay tuned for that other content as well. And until next time here on Janky AF, we say, Janky do Thanky.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.